Oh, is that a way? So I decided what time of year is better than Christmas to get into the spirit, and so today I've decided that I'm going to be filming behind the Christmas tree. You're very welcome for that. So when I asked you guys if you wanted me to do a book haul or a book review, I got 95% of you telling me that you wanted to be stingy and you wanted both. So Merry Christmas to you guys. I am now officially doing my to be read list of 2014 that I didn't get to read or that I've bought over the last week. So I hope you're nice and comfortable because there are a lot of books we're gonna be going over. And now I'm chewing on gum because I just took medicine and it's really gross. So just have to say in, I apologize. I'm not gonna go in any specific order. I've got like a huge stacks of books, like literally they're up to my side. And then I've got my Kindle that we're gonna be going over. So in no particular order, here are the books that are on my to be read list and on my to be read bookshelf and on my to be read collection on my Kindle. The very first book I have is called The Merciless, and I actually just bought that today when I did my little vlog from inside Barnes & Noble. I'm actually gonna get close so you can see. It's kind of gold. Any book that's in pink, I'm automatically drawn to. It's my favorite color, and so I see something in pink, I have to have it. But I walked up to it and I was like, this is a really cool book because I also really love books, I'm gonna get really close, where the pages are not even. So it has this really cool like little ridged look, and I've always loved that when, you know, books have a little bit of charm to them. So I immediately flipped it over, and on the back, it just has two simple little sentences. Forgive us, Father, for we have sinned. Like, all right, now you've got my attention. So I opened it up and I read the insert, and it's really dark. From what I can gain is this girl's been befriended, and she woke up in her own pool of blood. I know it sounds really dark as I say it. She realizes that she's befriended these popular girls, but they're doing an exorcism on her best friend. But y'all, this is really, I'm not joking, in the young adult section. So don't think I went to some dark, dingy place in the back of the bookstore. It was right up front. It was pink and gold, and it seemed scary, so I just bought it. It just seemed like a natural checkout process, but now I'm thinking that maybe I should just rethink what I find interesting, actually. The next book I picked up is called Pleasure's Edge, and this is by Eden Bradley. And I actually picked up 2 copies of this book. One I'm gonna be giving away on my blog, so make sure you check back every week where I usually do my giveaway. This will be a giveaway soon. And I bought this just because I liked the cover. It is a romance, a contemporary erotica, so I'm sure I'll either love it or hate it. There's usually no in between for me, but I just liked the sparkle kind of on the front, and I'm immediately not drawn to anything that has people's faces on it. So if I see like a hot guy and a hot girl like intertwined with one another, I don't know why, I just usually think it's really cheesy and cheap, and I don't usually go for books like that. Or if it has pearls on it, lately I've been on a no pearls kick because it just seems like it's everywhere. I really like this because it is really understated, and if, you know, somebody saw it sitting down, unless you read Pleasure's Edge, I mean, you wouldn't know what this is about. So I picked up 2 copies of this, so do be on the lookout for this on my website and review soon, because maybe it really sucks and somebody's just taking home a sucky book, but I'm really hoping that it's good. Now, the next book is from somebody that needs absolutely no introduction because I love her books, and that is Robin Perrney. And this is her new holiday book, and it is Christmas Justice, and I was lucky enough to get one of her autographed copy books, and I also have a copy of this to be giving away for y'all. And I just pretty much love anything that Robin does. They're really tiny Harlequin books. They're not the Harlequin books that your mama read. There are times when I need a break from all the intense erotica books that we do read. And sometimes I just need something a little easier, something not as just graphic, and I hope some of you are like that. Sometimes I just need a break from them, and that's when I love picking up one of Robin's books, because while it does have love in it, it's not over the top, and there's suspense, and there's murder, and there's a whole story to it, and all of her books are connected in a way. And I just love anything that she writes, especially if you just need something really quick and easy through the weekend. These are perfect little books, and I also like them because you can literally buy them anywhere. You can buy them at Walmart, you can buy them online, on Barnes & Noble, on Kindle, on iBooks. So do go and pick this up. It's a limited time edition because it is a Christmas Harlequin, as you can see. So, I mean, even if you do get lucky enough to buy the book, if you're lucky enough to win one of the autographed copies, you know, these are rare little books. Keeping with that same theme of always kind of needing a break And I hate that I say that because I do love the romance genre. However, sometimes the stories all kind of blend in together. Lately, it's all been the billionaire CEOs with the Bella-like girl that falls for them. So sometimes I do need to take a step back and I need books in between. So when I need a book like that, I usually end up going to the front of the bookstore and just kind of looking through the bestsellers. And I came across Gillian Flynn when I read Gone Girl, and I really liked the book, even though I didn't love the ending just because it didn't end the way I thought it should end. I did love her reading. It did keep me on my toes. So I went and picked up her Dark Places. It sounds really great, kind of like Gone Girl, that same mystery, murder type books. I'm hoping because I liked the first book that I read from her that I'll like the second one. And they always say you can tell if you really like an author when you can read 2 books. And by that time, you've kind of caught on to the writing style of the author. And so if I know I love this one, then I know I'll be picking up most of her books. These are just great, and I have a feeling because Gone Girl was such a hit that most of her books will be turned into movies. And that's always fun, is to read the book before it becomes a movie. So that is why I picked up Dark Places. She also has a book called Sharp Objects, but I think this one just stood out to me more like a cooler story, so that's why I went with this one instead of the other one. The next book I bought, I actually won at my husband's Christmas party a gift card to Barnes & Noble, which was like Merry Christmas to me. And so I went to go pick out my book, and I looked and I looked and I looked. This one caught my eye, and I'll tell you why. This is called Anything He Wants and Castaway, and this is by Sarah Faulk. The reason I liked this book, even though it has a person on it, I usually don't like those kind of books. I liked this one because I only paid $14.99 for it, but you got 2 stories. So it looks like a really big book, but it's because both books are in this one book. And I just thought that was really kind of awesome. Even like here on the sticker, it says 2 books for the price of 1, contains the complete Anything He Wants saga. So I thought it was really cool that the author was willing to put 2 stories into one book instead of making me buy 2 books. And I mean, in reality, that's just halving their profit, because if you love one, you'll go back and buy the second one. If I don't like it, then, you know, I don't have to finish the series, but I'm one of those people that when I usually start, I want to finish it. So even if I don't want to finish it the next day, I can always set this on my bookshelf, and then at a later date when I have some free time and it's, you know, back on my mind that I want to give it another try, I don't have to go buy another book. It's right here in it. I thought that was really cool and definitely worth the purchase. The next book was given to me by someone special in my family, and yes, there is this hunky guy holding a football. This is called Playing to Win, and this is by J.C. Burton. My friend just thought that it would be a really great book for me to read. They got it for my birthday, and this was a year ago, and I still haven't got a chance to read it. I later found out that this is actually like a whole series, and this is the 3rd book in the series, so I do have to go back and buy the first 2 before I can start this one, but it is a series that I plan to start reading within the next year. So the next book is Crash Into You, and you guys have begged me to read this. I bought it like 6 months ago, and it's been still sitting on it. I just have such a tight schedule reading for what I do for a living, and so I have to schedule out my books, not in the order that I'd like to read them, but in the order that I can fit them in. And this one just hasn't made it on the top of my list yet. I know most of you have read this. You all love it. It's got great stars on Goodreads, so I am looking forward to finally reading this, hopefully this year. Another set of books that you've told me I must read, and I've not read them yet, please don't shoot me, is the Gabrielle's Inferno series. I have the first one and the second one. I just haven't got to read it. I've heard such amazing things. I've also heard I'll like it better than 50. I'll like it better than Gideon. I don't know if I will. I'm excited to find out though. Don't tell me yet, but I am really excited to get into these. And if you can believe it, I found this in a bargain bin. So I ended up getting this one for like $3. I saw it and I remembered I had this one. I went ahead and bought the second one because if it's as good as you tell me, I'm gonna want both. So these are definitely in my reading list within the next few months. So those were all of the actual books on my to be read bookshelf. I actually do have a to be read bookshelf, and it's in the shape of an arrow, and every book that I have to read that I haven't read yet goes on that bookshelf, and then once I read it, it goes onto my beautiful bookshelves in the background that you usually see in my videos when the Christmas tree is not behind me. So with that said, let's go into my Kindle To Be Read collection. Hope you're still sitting down, hope you have your water, a snack, you need a potty break, pause, because here we go into my Kindle To Be Read section. Ooh, glowy. The very first book on my Kindle To Be Read should be absolutely no shock. I have this book because it was probably my biggest obsession of 2014, and I'm obsessed about a lot of things, but this one skyrocketed, and I'm so late jumping on the train. So late. But I actually saw this book was up for free on Amazon, so I bought it thinking I was going to start reading the series, and that is none other than, focus my camera, it's The Pretty Little Liars' very first book. So I did buy The Pretty Little Liars' first book because I want to devour the series, but you all told me that I wouldn't like it if I liked the show. I've heard a lot of contradicting things, so I am excited to start reading the book. I know there's like 20 of them, so hopefully before the series ends, I can catch up at least with the books. But it was free when I bought it, so that was kind of exciting. Okay, this next book is going to be shocking, I think is a good word. I saw the cover, I was intrigued, something different than what we usually read. Don't judge me, but it does need to be said that it does look freakishly good. I have not read it yet, so I have to tell you the story of how I got this. I'm so enthralled with the idea of the submissive and dom relationship being backwards. And I think that comes from when I hear boys like 50 Shades, you know, he had Miss Robinson, and they talk about being, you know, they were the submissives, and you don't really find books that's about that. It's usually the opposite end. So when I saw the cover of this book, I immediately thought, what a different mindset. And I love books that do that. That's the whole point of reading a book, is going somewhere you've never been before, even when it's to this extreme. But it was still something that really caught my attention. But this is actually written by a man, and it's called Joey W. Hill, and it's called Natural Law. And I don't know why, but I just thought that this book, it just caught my attention. And it's very taboo, obviously, because if you can see, it says right there on the top that it's taboo. So I don't know. I'm excited to read it. I haven't really psyched myself up to read it yet. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, even though mentally I'm excited to read it, I have to take a step back and prepare myself to be able to read it without being judgy, even though I don't know what it entails yet. I feel like if you don't go in with an open mind, you're not ready to go in with an open mind, then you can really be closed off from an amazing story. So I'm not really yet ready to devour it, but I know that I will be within the next few months. So I did one-click it with the hopes that I would be reading it very soon. The next book is another one I don't remember one-clicking at all. Could have been just a late night thing, too many glasses of wine, I don't know. Sometimes things just happen and you wake up and you have way too many books on your Kindle. This could probably be one of those moments. This is Indiscretion, Volume 1, and focus camera. There, it's by Elizabeth Grace. And again, not really sure. This is usually not my type of thing, but I don't know. It must have had a really good synopsis if I bought it. I'm excited to kind of see what it is, but at the same time, it's not at the top of my list to read. All these that I really don't remember buying at any point in time in the last year do not make it to the top of my list. They're at the bottom of my list. So it could be another year from now and it's December and I'm doing the same thing and it's like, oh, look at the book I still haven't read. Now this book I do remember buying because I just bought it last night. And it is called The Darkness Within Him, Book 1 of the Untwisted series, and it's by Alice Rain. I think I got this for free, or I may have gotten the low price of like 99 cents. And it was one of those, if you love 50 Shades of Grey type things, you'll love this book, which usually doesn't sell me because, let's face it, everybody wants to be under that 50 Shades of Grey category. What really sold me on the book was that it was one of the top 100 sellers on Amazon. And so I did go on Goodreads and look at it, and it had great reviews on it. And if it's one of the top 100 sellers, I'm curious to see, and it is a whole series. So I love when I can get into a series, and there's more than one book, and you can spend a whole month just indulging yourself in the characters. And the very last book, because I felt like I needed to do something with my hands, is a book I'm excited to read from an author that I love, but hated in the end, and it's a love-hate relationship. I really love her, but I really hate her right now too, and that is Lorling Page's Free Me. Now, this book just came out. I got it for $3.99. This was actually a more expensive book. Usually they're 99 cents, but this was at $3.99, but I didn't mind paying it because it was Lorling Page. I loved Lorling through the Fix trilogy. Love Hudson, Loved those stories. And then we were told that Hudson was getting his own story. And it was just gonna be called Hudson because that's what authors do. And then I read Hudson and I hated him. And she made my world turn upside down, which was even more sad. And it made me like want to pull my hair out. But I'm willing to forgive her for making me hate one of my favorite characters and give her another chance with Free Me. I love her writing style. I love the banter back and forth between her characters. I'm hoping this one goes along the same line as the Fixed trilogy. So I had no problem paying the $3.99 for that because, you know, who knows? I may find another book that I love by her. All right, guys, like I said, we hoped you were settled in for that because that was a long to be read list, but it happens. I have a horrible one-click problem. It's a disease and there's nothing I can do about it, but we love it. We love it. Remember that there's nothing to be ashamed of being a book nerd, and that we all hope your to-be read lists are this high, and that all of your good read challenges have been met, and we hope that you have a very Merry Christmas. All right, let's tell them. Until next time, laters, baby. Bye, guys.